guys, Will here, and welcome back to another battle report. Now, if any of you saw my my last one, the Eldar against the Space Wolves on the ice board, you'll remember how bad the sound quality was for that. Now, that was something we couldn't really control. We were in 40k gaming. It happened to be a very noisy night. You can't exactly tell a room of 30 people to shut up just so you can make a YouTube video. But today we've got a much better place. We're in my my front room here. I've got my board set out, and we're going to give the Iron Wolves another go. So Sam's going to be using the Iron Wolves from the Curse of the Wolfen book, this time with some Raven Guard allies as well. And I'm going to be using my Necrons. Haven't rolled for mission yet, but it's going to be Maelstrom of War. And this is going to be a 1750 point batrep. Okay, so here's my 1750 points of Necrons. This is made of a Decurion detachment with 1 Reclamation Legion and 1 Canoptic Harvest. In the centre here we've got my Warlord. That's a Necron Overlord with a Resurrection Orb, Phase Shifter and a War Scythe. And with him is his bodyguard of 5 Lich Guard with Hyperphase Swords and Dispersion Shields, and they're all riding in a Night Scythe transport. Then his Decurion detachment consists of 4 units of Necron Warriors. 3 of these are 10 strong on foot, and 1 is 15 man in a Night Scythe. Then I've got 2 units of Immortals, both 5 guys with Tesla Destructors. You know they're not Tesla Destructors, are they? They're Tesla Carbines. It's the Tesla one they can have. Then a minimum unit of 3 Tomb Blades with the Gauss weapons and the upgraded armour save. And that's my Reclamation Legion. And then the Canoptic Harvest formation consists of 1 Tomb Spider. He's got the twin-linked Particle Caster, or Particle Beamer I think it is on that one. I get the weapon names muddled up a bit with these. 6 Wraiths with no upgrades, and a unit of 3 Scarabs, just because you have to take a unit of 3 Scarabs in this formation. So yeah, there we go, that's 1750 points of Necrons. Okay, and then spread out along here we've got Sam's army. So do you want to take us through and tell us what's what?
Alright, we've got the Space Wolf, new Space Wolf detachment. So my core is the Iron Wolves, starting with a Wolf Lord. He has a jump pack, a Frost Sword, and the Wolfenstone.
What does that do?
Wolfenstone is Furious Charge for him and his unit, and Rage for him.
Nice.
He'll be with my auxiliary, which is 2 units of 7 Fenrisian Wolves. They'll form 1 unit. We're using the Alpha Pack special rule. For the taxes I need for that, or what I need for it, I need 2 units of Blood Claws. So I've got 1 unit there, 10 standard Blood Claws in a drop pod. Drop pod has a locator beacon.
Yep. And
1 unit here, 10 standard dudes in a Rhino with extra armour and Dozer Blade.
Yep.
Then I've got 2 packs of 5 Grey Hunters. 1 here with Combi Melter and Melter Gun. Ignore the Frost Blade, that's actually not there. It's just a normal combo weapon. And they're in drop pod with Deathwind Missile Launcher and locator beacon. And my second one has 1 Melter Gun, and they're in a racerback with Dozer Blade, extra armour and las cannon. And all of them have combat weapons.
Yep.
So
cool.
Additional attack. Then I've got 2 packs of long fangs, 1 with 4 heavy bolters and 1 with 4 missile launchers, and they're both in razorbacks with extra armour, las cannon, Dozer Blades.
Yeah, so the Iron Wolves formation there means you have to take a transport for everyone, but all the transports get their upgrades for free. So like the las cannon's a free upgrade, the Dozer Blade's a free upgrade. So you get quite a lot of extra points there, and your infantry stay nice and mobile. And then you've got a Raven Guard detachment.
Yeah, it's just I just wanted to play with them, to be honest, because I'm building my Raven Guard up slowly but surely. So I've got my captain here. He has Swift Strike and Murder, which are his special lightning claws, and the Raven's Fury, which is a jump pack that does +2 strength Hammer of Wrath. It's the same price as a standard jump pack, so I was like, why the hell wouldn't I take it? Then I've got 5 Sniper Scouts, just 5 basic dudes, 5 Vanguard Veterans, all with lightning claws.
Now these are
they're the pre-heresy models.
The Dark Furies, yeah, they're looking nice.
I really like the models. And then just 5 Tactical Marines, Combi Melter, Melter Gun in a drop pod, which has a locator beacon.
Okay, very nice. So that is 1750 points to Space Wolves with Allied Raven Guard. On to deployment and the mission. Okay, so we rolled up Cleanse and Control as the mission. I think that's what it's called. It's the one where you have Vanguard Strike Deployment and 3 objectives every turn. No particular extra special rules. And Sam won the roll-off to deploy first. So he's focused the bulk of his force in and around this building, with the scouts infiltrating up top, the 2 packs of wolves combining with his 2 characters in the middle there, and then the rhino with the blood claws on that side, and the rhino with the grey hunters over there.
No, grey hunters are there.
Yeah, there. That's what I said. Then over here, it's got the first pack of long fangs with the missiles, supported by their Razorback, and the second pack are in this building, supported by their Razorback, with the Dark Furies, the Vanguard veterans, behind them. So the army's a little bit spread out around the cover. I'm not quite sure why he feels the need to make such use of cover, since my weapons don't generally ignore his armour anyway, but hey, if it works, it works, and that is where the objectives are. Necrons have deployed in sort of 2 clusters, with the group of Immortals in the middle claiming the objective in that building. Another unit of Immortals, Warriors and Tombblades on this flank, and then 2 more units of Warriors and the Wraiths and the Spider, who's fallen off his stand again, over there. So at the moment, Space Wolves and Ravens are going first. They've got quite a lot in reserves as well. We've got 2 drop pods, one with Blood Claws and one with Grey Hunters, and then a Raven Guard drop pod with Tactical Marines. But we've rolled up Night Fight, so the Ravens are going to have a great cover save on the first turn, and sticking his Raven Guard captain in that unit has meant that those guys are going to be +3 to their cover save during the first turn because of his Shrouded rule and night fighting. But let's see if I can seize the initiative. Nope, it's a 5. Imperium, turn 1. So Sam's turn 1 started with 2 drop pods coming down right into my front lines, bringing in a tactical squad and a Grey Hunter pack. These guys proceeded to open up on the Canoptic Spider and put 2 wounds on it. He then fired all the las cannons at it for a grand total of nothing, before it was finally finished off by a couple of crack missiles from the Grey Hunters. He really put a lot of effort into killing that spider, and knowing what it gives the formation, I really don't blame him. That was a good little plan there. So that's the spider dealt with and First Blood. Now his objectives were Supremacy, so he just had to hold more objectives than me, Unleash the Wolves, kill something in combat, and secure Marker 6. And Marker 6 was somewhat out of the question, being as it had a Necron Immortal standing on it 3 stories up in the back of my table half. But Supremacy was quite doable. He moved a single long fang sort of just ahead of his squad to claim that one. The Raven Guard, aren't holding that. The Razorback's holding that one. He's got that one over there, and he's now claiming that one in the middle. So loads of objectives there. Other shooting, the Deathwind missile launcher from this drop pod fired at these warriors and managed to kill a single one of them. And then there was a whole lot of non-effective shooting at Necron warriors and Wraiths who just passed all their saves. Of particular note was the Long Fangs with the heavy bolters opening up on the Tombblades. Scored like 5 wounds, but a mixture of my 3-up armour and good reanimation rolls saved them all. So yeah, Necron's proving to be as tough and resilient as ever, but the lightning strike from the Space Wolves has scored them First Blood and D3 for Supremacy, which he gets a 2 for, which he can re-roll.
I can.
Because of your Warlord trait.
Yay!
Hey! So that's 4 points straight off the bat. On to Necron, turn 1. So at the start of my first turn, I had Secure Objective 1, Code of Combat, and Blood and Guts. So basically killed something in combat. So I thought, okay, well, Secure Objective 1 wasn't going to happen because there's a tank parked on it and it's on the wrong side of the board. So didn't even worry about that. Blood and Guts, nice and easy. I had the Wraiths in position. Code of Combat, hold on to for later because my character hasn't turned up yet. So these three squads advanced up and fired at the Dark Furies, killed a total of 1, thanks to the 2-up cover save that Raven Guard get in buildings on turn 1 for their chapter tactics. Then these 3 squads of Necrons here, the 2 of Warriors and the 1 of Immortals, fired at the Space Wolves. The Grey Hunter pack here wiped them out, so that's them dealt with. But then my Wraiths had a little bit of an interesting time of it. So I thought, okay, well, I could charge the Raven Guard or I could charge the Bloodclaws. Well, Bloodclaws are probably a bigger threat. Let's mince them before they do anything. Charge the Bloodclaws. Then Sam reminded me of the Space Wolves countercharge benefit. And so I had this big pack of Fenrisian Wolves and 2 characters charging in and fighting my Wraiths. And then through a combination of the Wraith's toughness and my almost preternatural ability to roll 3-up invuln saves, did a total of 2 wounds. The Wraiths then proceeded to massacre the Bloodclaws and send the Wolves running off with their tails between their legs. Really shouldn't have gone like that. The way he was doing wounds to me should have killed 2 or 3 of them, but no, the Wraiths are apparently not willing to die today. So that's a good sign, and that scores me Blood and Guts, but that's still only 1 point because yeah, that was only worth 1 and I didn't get first blood, so Space Wolves are still ahead, and it looks like he's got another drop pod coming on from reserves. Sam, if you'd like to roll reserves.
Yep.
It's a 3, it's on. Space Wolf, turn 2. So Space Wolves started their turn, dropping down another pack of Bloodclaws, and then combined with the Grey Hunters behind them and all these transport vehicles all opened up on the Wraiths, had much more success than he'd had in combat, killing them, left me with 1 wounded and 1 at full strength. Luckily Wraiths are fearless, so no leadership tests there. Now his objectives for this term are Hunt with Cunning, which is kill something with a unit that can outflank, and that was his Wolves. He also had Kingslayer and something else. Unleash the Wolves, kill something in combat. So he thought charging these Wolves into these Necrons would score him some points there, but unfortunately for him he hadn't reckoned on Necrons 4-up reanimation protocol, and we just sort of stood there, lost 3, passed our leadership test, and we're just going to hold them up in combat now. So surprisingly good turn for the Necrons there. Over here the Dark Furies leapt out of cover and tried to charge the Immortals, but despite their reroll for their charges he still couldn't make it into combat, so they've gone from deadly ravens to sitting ducks. But we shall see if the Necrons can actually capitalise on this. I've got some reserves to bring on. So first up, the Scarabs, nope. The Night Scythe with my Overlord, yes. And the Night Scythe of Warriors, yes. So 2 Night Scythes coming on. Points-wise, Sam didn't score anything that turn, but he's still in the lead. But let's see if the Necrons can turn that around in turn 2. So Necron turn 2 saw the arrival of my reserves in the shape of 2 Night Scythes. First one came down here, really just as minimum distance onto the board as I could get away with, and dropped off a unit of 15 warriors who proceeded to fire at the Bloodclaws. The Night Scythe then added its firepower and left the 10 Bloodclaws down to just 3 guys scarpering away. The second one dropped down my Overlord. Now he can't do much this turn, but he's just going to stand there and look menacing with his bodyguard of Lichguard. That Night Scythe then proceeded to blow up that Razorback with 3 penetrating hits. Now objectives wise this turn, Code of Combat still isn't going to happen, but no prisoners was a nice one to do, just kill stuff. Reclaim and Recapture meant I had to hold all 3 odd numbered objectives, which is going to be a pain because they are there, there and there, e.g. right in the Space Wolf line, so I've kind of ignored that one for this turn. Other shooting saw these guys fire at the Dark Furies who'd got caught out in the open, killed all bar the Sergeant, who then ran off the board. Apparently Raven Guard know when to retreat. And the Immortals here and this squad of warriors fired at the Raven Guard tactical squad that was there and wiped them out. So all in all, pretty good for the Necrons there. We got 3 kills, so that's 3 points for our no prisoners objective. Assault phase didn't go quite so well though. The Wolf Lord, the Raven Guard captain and the Wolves finished off those warriors, and I charged my Wraiths, in the surviving 2 Wraiths, into those Grey Hunters, hoping to have the same sort of luck as I'd had the previous round, but alas, 'twas not to be, and they cut me down before I got to make my attacks. So well done to the Space Wolves there. They've certainly proved their strength in combat. Let's see what points I get for that one objective I have scored. 3, so that's going to be 2 points, which puts me on a mere 3 points still. So although Necrons have killed a lot, Space Wolves are still up on points as we head into turn 3. So now is the time for the Space Wolf counterattack. Sam knew that with these wolves and the objectives he had, he killed one unit with them, he'd get 2 objectives. So he promptly charged them into that isolated warrior squad and wiped them out. Very cleverly, actually had the Blood Claws charge them first, and although they failed the charge, they were able to take the Overwatch fire on their power armour, saving the wolves, who are somewhat squishy, from getting overwatched. So that was handy, and yeah, they cut them down, so that's 2 straight points. He considered also charging these Grey Hunters into my Overlord, because that would give him a chance for Hungry for Glory, but decided against it on the grounds that my Overlord is an absolute monster compared to Grey Hunters in combat.
And there's no character in that squad.
The character's dead, is he?
No, I don't buy characters for Space Wolves.
Fair enough, no problem. Other than that, the Longfangs in here shot at this warrior squad, scored 30 hits with their frag missiles because of how closely clustered I was, but that only actually went on to kill 5 of them, thanks to Necrons just being bloody hard to kill. And over here, the heavy bolters from the Devastator squad shot the warriors and killed 3-4 of them. A small number of them. The squad's still fine, although they do actually need a leadership test. Let me just take a look. They're passed, that's fine. So yeah, it's 2 more points for the Space Wolves. That puts you up to 6 now.
Yeah, including First Blood 6.
Yeah, so it's 6-3.
And they got Unleash the Wolves with the Wolves again.
Yes. Unleash the Wolves, always best scored with Wolves. So as we head into Necron turn 3, I'm 3 points behind, but I've got some serious badasses coming on the board now. Let's see how this goes. Right, so for the Necron turn, I had Code of Combat, Kingslayer, and Secure Objective 4. So Objective 4 was nice and easy because I already had a squad of Immortals sitting on it. Them along with those warriors and those... what are they called? Tomb Blades fired at the Devastator squad in the building. Only killed 2 of them, but then they failed their morale test, and because they were practically sitting on the board edge, just ran off the board. Sam's not had the best of luck with your leadership tests today.
No, I failed like 6 leadership tests already.
These guys had a bit of luck as well, killing off a few of the wolves. But this squad actually passed its leadership test. They also took a little bit of firepower from here, which put a wound on the Raven Guard captain, but not close to getting Kingslayer yet. And then Code of Combat has issued a challenge, which I will come to in a moment, because both my Night Scythes were still up. This one shot at the scouts, killed 3 of them, and then they actually passed the leadership. And this one fired at that Razorback and wrecked it. So yeah, starting to thin out the numbers of these guys now. Basically cleared this quadrant of the board of enemy forces, apart from that Rhino, but that's nothing to worry about. Then Lichguard and the Overlord charged into combat with the other Longfang pack. Overlord issued a challenge and promptly cut down the Longfang Ancient, and then his minions destroyed the rest of the pack easily. So yeah, that is 2 points for the Necrons there. That leaves us 6-5 to the Space Wolves, and although Sam is winning on points, he's not got that much left, but that little pack there is still very threatening. So let's see if he can do something with it as we head into Space Wolf turn 4. For turn 4, the Space Wolves had Ascendancy, Psychological Warfare, and Secure Objective 1. Now 1 was nice and easy, he just shot this Razorback Rhino over here to secure it, and that also helped him towards Ascendancy, which was also claimed by the combination of these guys scuttling under here and these guys moving to that objective. But he needed to get the Lich Guard away from it, which he did by tank shocking them with the Rhino. Razorback even. They passed the leadership test but had to move out the way, getting them off the objective. That Razorback then continued its rampage and took a snapshot at the Night Scythe and actually managed to put a hull point and mean it's only basically got to move off the board next turn. It's not going to be sticking around. Other than that, the drop pods put a few hits onto this warrior squad, but they passed their leadership. And these guys decided they didn't want a showdown with the Overlord and instead ran up into the building and butchered the Immortals that were in there. So they're having a nice little go of it this game, but I think they're a little bit scared of my Overlord. So yeah, that scores Ascendancy and Secure Objective 1. Do you want to roll for Ascendancy?
Oh, do I be greedy because I can re-roll it?
All decisions.
Yeah, let's be greedy. If it goes bad, it goes bad. No.
Hey,
Yay!
nice one. So another 4 points that turn for the Space Wolves, leaving them on, what, 10 is that now?
6, 9, first blood, yeah, 10.
Nice. So Necrons are still putting a lot of kills in, but we need to score some points. Necron, turn 4. Okay, so on my turn I had really tough objectives. Kingslayer, which was going to be a pain with him being right over there. Domination, which I just didn't have enough on the board to do. And Secure Objective 3, which is in that back building. Now I managed to shoot the Space Marines that were holding that out of there, but then wasn't fast enough to get something in there to secure it. So that'll have to be for next turn. And yeah, just wasn't close enough to shoot this guy with anything meaningful. The Night Scythe had a go and killed one of the wolves, put another wound on the Raven Guard captain, but the squad's still intact. These two squads fired at the Rhino, put 2 hull points on it. These guys moved up and shot the drop pod, and these guys advanced and cut down the Grey Hunters in combat. So, you know, a reasonable turn for actually doing stuff, but not securing the right objectives. So I'm going to discard Domination, and we've decided to only play this to 5 turns because we're a little bit tight for time. Next turn is going to be the last turn, and we're really going to need to go on a scoring frenzy if we're going to do this. On to Space Wolf, turn 5. So here we go, the Space Wolf's final turn, and the Wolf Lord, looking to rack up some more kills along with his puppies and his Raven Guard friend, charged down here and pulled off a 10-inch charge into the Immortals before completely cutting them down and wiping them out. Now, unfortunately, Sam didn't have great objectives this turn. He had Saga of the Sage, kill a vehicle, and what else did he have? Domination and Oath of the Warrior, so he had to kill my Warlord because he was the only character there. So Warlord was pretty safe over here. We tried to tank shock him with the Razorback just to push him out the way. He didn't really achieve a lot, and then the Razorback had a shot at the Night Scythe, but unfortunately missed that this time. Bloodclaws got into that Rhino and chucked a crack grenade at the Night Scythe. Again, did nothing. So although, yeah, he got rid of the Immortals, didn't score anything that turn, but the Space Wolves have the lead on points as we go into what will be the Necrons' final turn. And there we have it. The Necrons were not quite able to secure any objectives that turn. Tried to get psychological warfare by blowing up the Rhino, which I did, but then making the guys take a pinning test, which unfortunately they passed. And over here, went for Slay the Warlord, but unfortunately killed everything bar the Warlord in the squad. So yeah, in the end, Space Wolves end that with 10 points to 6. I did kill some more vehicles down here, and in terms of table control, the Necrons got a lot more left. I mean, the Space Wolf army is down to a Razorback, 2 drop pods, 3 Grey Hunters, and 3 Bloodclaws and a Wounded Wolf Lord. But in the end, it's not what you kill in these missions, it's scoring the objectives. And unfortunately, the Necrons just didn't have the manoeuvrability to do it, despite their overwhelming survivability superiority. Sam, how are you liking your new list?
I wasn't expecting it to go that well. There was some good shenanigans I managed to pull there.
Yeah, I say it was certainly a fun little list, and I like the sort of the direction you're going in, actually playing Space Marines now.
Yeah, no, I don't like Space Marines normally. I'm not sure if it was the Space Wolf, if the Raven Guard added too much to that game. Yeah, I didn't really add much. This Raven Guard character was mental.
Oh yeah, with his Swift Strike and Murder, his paired power claws, he was scoring an average of 6 power weaponed wounds per combat.
He was mixing with the Wolfenstein, so he had Furious Charge as well. But that Fenrisian Wolf unit just held the game for me, really.
Yeah, they were just running all over the place, chomping bits to shit. Now, I mean, against my Eldar, I'd have probably had the firepower and manoeuvrability to handle them. But
it'll be a game we have to play.
Yes, I think so.
I need a rematch against your Eldar after you stole victory on the
last
lucky
turn.
end. Yeah, last time you played. You just snuck the victory on bad turns of cards for me.
Yeah.
And 2 good turns of cards for you. I was destroying you for the whole game otherwise.
Well, yeah, but it's flipped around here. I mean, I just couldn't get the cards, couldn't score objectives.
Neither one of us had really good cards that game.
No, I mean, it's certainly not like the 20 sort of point games we were having back in the tournament, but you know, it's not a bad little game, and good fun. I think I need to rethink the Necrons, because the Decurion gives them great survivability, but they don't have the manoeuvrability to be where I need to be. So I think this list may be rejigged. But anyway, good fun game. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you appreciated the efforts we went to make the sound quality a little bit better on this one. And see you again soon for another batrep. Bye.